juveniles ages 15 and 16, as well as adults ages 19, 22, and 34. Two people have been arrested in connection with the shooting. 20-year-old Cedric Lamont Watson Jr. is being charged with 3 counts of felony possession of a firearm by a felon, 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, 2 counts of possession of a weapon of mass destruction, 10 counts of discharging a weapon into an occupied property. Watson is being held under a $2 million secured bond. 19-year-old Javia A. Parker is being charged with felony accessory after the fact of the assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. She was released under a $50,000 secured bond. Alamance County Terry Johnson, sheriff, says he anticipates more arrests being made in the case. A Burlington church caught on fire. Officials say they were called to St. Mark's Church at 1230 St. Mark's Church Road around 1230 yesterday. They were told smoke was coming from the church vent. After evacuating the building, firefighters discovered the fire started in the kitchen area of the church's second floor. The building's sprinklers were triggered, extinguishing the fire. While no one was injured, the building did sustain some damage. More than 600 area residents participated in this year's walk to end Alzheimer's here in Alamance County. They raised more than $133,000. Funding continues with the goal of raising $150,000 by the end of the year. The latest job figures are out. Alamance County's unemployment rate ticked down a notch in August back to where it had been in June. The county unemployment rate was 4.1% in August, down incrementally from the 4.3% level in both the previous months and in August of last year. The North Carolina Department of Commerce reported yesterday a jobless rate at below 5% is generally considered a benchmark of a healthy local employment market.
It's 9 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good Thursday morning to Ray Myers coming your way. And, of course, Talk Line at 8:30. I'll be back at 10:30, and we'll be doing some car talking with Master Mechanic Steve Taylor. It's Car Talk 10:30 this morning here on WBAG.
News brought to you by Rich and Thompson Funeral and Cremations Services.
They had 2 arrests in the Green Level shooting that left 5 people injured. 5 people had been shot at a party there where there were about 200 people. 2 people have been arrested. Now, the sheriff says that he expects that there may be other arrests. He anticipates more arrests being made in the case and additional charges perhaps against one of the people that is already arrested. And here's something that came out in the press conference a lot of us didn't know. Investigators say that a machine gun conversion device was used in the shooting. Thus, one of the charges that were presented against 20-year-old Cedric Lamont Watson Jr., 2 counts of possession of a weapon of mass destruction, 3 counts of felony possession of a firearm by a felon, 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, 10 counts of discharging a weapon into occupied property. Watson is being held under a $2 million secured bond. Also, 19-year-old Javenia A. Parker is being charged with felony accessory after the fact of an assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. She was released under a $50,000 secured bond. Now, this is a sheriff out there doing his due diligence, getting out there and finding out what's going on with this kind of situation. They say, as I said earlier, Terry Johnson has said that he anticipates more arrests involved in this situation. We'll keep you informed. The jobless numbers for Alamance County have come out. They are, for August, so they lag behind. It's about a month behind. But anyway, the Alamance County unemployment rate ticked down a notch. The county unemployment rate was 4.1%, down from 4.3%. And a jobless rate that's below 5% is generally considered the benchmark of a healthy local employment market. So If it's 5% or less, we're down to 4.1%, and it's just went down from 4.3%. That's good news. So the job market here in Alamance County is pretty solid. We mentioned this earlier, high school football for you on Friday. We've got the Alamance Class Inside the Huddle Coaches Show, which starts at 5:30 on Friday. Then we'll have the Graham Sporting Goods Game of the Week, Southern Alamance at Williams with Todd Davis and Van Smith. And then the Warren's Drugstore of Mebane Game of the Week, Cummings at Eastern Alamance with Vance Ballard, Mark, and Ryan Swing. That'll be on WBAG AMFM.com. Also, on Saturday, we've got football for you. The beginning of the ACC for UNC. It'll be Clemson at UNC, airtime 11 o'clock. And after that, later on this evening, Saturday evening at 4:30, it's the Xfinity Series. It's the Blue Cross Blue Shield North Carolina Drive for a Cure 250 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Going to start at 4:30. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the Cup Series, the NASCAR Cup Series, Bank of America 400 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. That race will begin at 2 p.m. All right, 222-9224. Glad to have you along. Hope you will give us a call. Join in the conversation today.
Good morning, Harry. Hope your morning's going well.
Doing great. I'm going
to tell you what, it ain't going to be long. It's going to be some frost on the pumpkin.
Yeah. It was a little, when I went out this morning, my outside kitty, Peanut, came running up to me going, see, I think she wanted to come inside because it was a little chilly, but I opened the door to let her in, and she said, no, I'm going to go sit back on the gate. I was just fooling you. It was chilly.
She wanted to get in that sunshine, I guess.
She wanted me to pick her. She wanted me to pick her up. Is what she wanted. That's what she liked. She wanted you to carry her around the yard, stuff like that.
You got them spoiled. That's what it is.
And that is an absolute fact.
Well, somebody's got to do it if the job's got to be done. But I was going to call in and tell you, with government shutdown and everything, it's going to stir up a mess, and the ones that's causing this are the crooks in the politics. That's they just can't get together on anything, and I'm gonna tell you what the whole problem to this world's gonna be. I can sum it up in one word, and you know what the word is?
Yeah, what?
Greed.
Well, one of the difficulties with this whole situation with what they're talking about, okay? The Democrats won't vote in for the continuing resolution. Well, let me give you a hint. The law says we can't fund the government with continuing resolutions. We need to pass a budget. They're supposed to pass a budget. And see, when you pass a budget, what you get to do is talk about the things that you want in the budget or things that you don't want in the budget. You must do that. You have to have a conversation. Well, they don't want to talk to each other. So what they do is they say, let's just have a continuing resolution that gets us through this for right now. We'll talk about this other stuff along the way, and then they fiddle-faddle around and talk about a few things and just continue with the continuing resolution. The Democrats and the Republicans need to quit continuing resolutions and start passing budgets. That's what we sent them up there to do. Both parties are just destroying the whole system by not wanting to pass a budget.
Well, I mean, if the budgets in the past would have been legit.
Signs of the time. No one can get along. Mother against son.
About greed, like I said.
Nobody wants the truth. So you're going to have chaos and destruction. You asked for it. You're doing exactly what the Bible says. Acting like fools.
Care of them. They're hiding in every little hole they can, to keep from having to go back to the country. And they talking about giving them health care and furnishing them everything else that they furnished in the past. our military people in the past overseas that was fighting for this country were living in foxholes. And you're going to take illegals and put them up in the Roosevelt Hotel, motel, whatever the thing's called up there, and give them clothing and health care and anything else they need, food. I mean, something's wrong with this picture. I don't get it. And if you make things too comfortable for illegals to be over here, you need to, make it a little tough on them, and maybe they'll decide not to come over here, or maybe come.
Well, what can we do to make y'all go back, sir? Sir, what can we do to make y'all go back, the first ones that he came over here illegal, and tried to make laws for us over here? Take y'all ass back to Europe, or the Joint European Slave Union ship. Jesus. I ain't gonna tired of, I'm sick of listening to this damn shit. Y'all some evil ass motherfuckers.
This guy can't get in here legally. They can try the program. There are people, millions of people standing in line trying to get into the United States legally. There's a way to do that. Well, these people sneak across the border, and why do they do that? Because they think if they sneak across the border, they'll get a house. They'll get, health care. They'll get their kids taken care of. And as long as there are jurisdictions within the United States that are going to do that. Just let people sneak across the border illegally, work here illegally, and then we're going to give them free stuff. They are going to keep coming. What we need to do is we need to be fair to everybody. If you come to this country illegally and we catch you, we're not going to treat you badly. We're gonna put you in a place where you can stay until we can deport you. That's what we should be doing. But instead of doing that, when you sneak across the border and get to a place where they feel sorry for you, they're gonna let you stay there and give you free stuff. And that's why they come here.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Don't down Terry Johnson for needing what he needs, because in Alamance County, he's got to have the facilities to take care of his business here for us, in Alamance County, and don't look at him as, well, he's overspending, because you keep letting the Biden administration screw this whole world up. I mean, this whole country up, because, well, maybe the world too, because they gave them a bunch of free money, the Obamas also, but. It gets down to the old saying.
Well, I tell you, Trump ain't done shit. Trump has messed the whole damn world up.
Well, you know what? You can look in the bottom of it, ain't gonna be nothing there. Yeah. But that's my 2 cents worth. All right. But anyway, I'll let you go, and y'all have a good day, and let somebody else in here.
All right, appreciate it. 222-9224. The situation during the Biden administration on the border was just inexcusable. Now, Obama deported over 3 million people. Obama was not the problem on the border. The Biden administration was the problem on the border. Now, all along the way, we have not handled the border situation very well. Our border situation, our immigration situation, is broken. And for the last 30 years, nobody has really wanted to fix it. They've made attempts to fix it. They've given amnesty and said, from this point on, we're gonna hold the line on the border. They didn't. The problem is that the immigration system is broken. It needs to be fixed. The Democrats and the Republicans have no desire to do that. They don't want to do that. I think perhaps we've come along at a time, certainly Tom Homan wants to do it, and the administration we have now is making an effort. Now, are they going to be just like every other Republican administration and their effort falls flat? They don't really actually end up doing what they say they're going to do? Well, Tom Homan, if he were in charge 100%, he's doing his job. He's going to deport people who are here illegally. Now, there are people that are complaining that the people that Tom Homan is deporting, it's coming close to 1 million now, that he is deporting are not just criminals. violent criminals. There are people that have gotten caught up into the situation that are just everyday, ordinary people who snuck across the border. Well, that's true. But when you catch a violent criminal or two, and then they're hanging out with people who didn't commit any violence but are here illegally, they're going to get deported too. And everybody who is here illegally, if you overstayed your visa, you snuck across the border, you're here illegally, the best thing for you to do if you don't want to get caught.
Well, in that case, everybody is here illegally. All y'all, get the hell out of America. You don't belong here.
But Tom Homan, who is in charge of enforcing the laws to deport people who are here illegally, is going to deport every person that he catches that's here illegally. If you didn't commit a crime, they say they're not going to just turn you loose. That's not what's going to happen. If you're caught up in a situation where you're just here illegally for sneaking across the border or overstaying your overstaying your visa, you're still, if you end up getting caught with the other victims, the other felons, you're going to get deported too. And that's the way it should be. And the person who had deported more people was Obama. And nobody back then, did you hear about people complaining? The Obama administration deported over 3 million people. So far, the Trump administration has deported about 1 million. And people are moaning and groaning and griping and about it all over the place. Did you hear people griping about it when Obama was doing it? No. It was okay when
There's
Obama
a way
was
to
doing
do
it.
things.
Trump's
Trump
doing it,
don't know how to
Obama
do
was
things right.
deporting people that were here illegally, just like the Trump administration is doing.
Trump is
But
so
people
jealous of
didn't
Obama,
complain
it don't
about
make no
Obama, but they're
sense.
complaining about this.
This is
No,
all
they
because
praise
Trump is jealous of Obama.
which they well should have. They called him the deporter-in-chief because he was deporting people who were here illegally, as he should, as every president should. But nobody complained about it when he was doing it, but you let Trump do anything, and they're going to start complaining about it.
Obama wasn't a racist. Trump is a national racist, a national Christian racist. That Christianity don't go with black people's Christianity, okay? That don't mix. Because national Christianity, nationalism, whatever y'all call it, Christianity is only for white folks. That's to keep the white folks on top of the black folks. That's why you got them worshiping the ship that y'all brought them here over on. That's why you got them worshiping that ship. And they don't even know no better. Because you beat it into the ancestors. But y'all shit gonna quit. It's gonna quit. It's gonna quit. It's gonna quit. Because the Most High is sick of it, and so am I.
Top Line. Good morning. You're on Top Line.
Good morning, Harry. It's been quite a while since I called in the show, and I just wanted to share something with you this morning. Last Friday, I had an opportunity to go to a meeting at the Rosemary Restaurant. They were having a kickoff event for candidate for sheriff Billy Clayton, and I got my invitation to that meeting, not from anyone from Billy Clayton's campaign committee or anything like that. I got the invitation from the owner of the restaurant. I don't know if you're familiar with the restaurant. It's a finer dining restaurant located in Elon near Skid's Diner. And anyhow, I took the opportunity to go because I was invited, and I was just interested in seeing what Billy Clayton had to say. Now, early in my career, I had the opportunity to work in the sheriff's office, and back in the late 80s, there wasn't very many of us out there. It was just, matter of fact, at one point in my career, I was patrolling. I was the only deputy south of 8540. I was patrolling about 220 square miles on my shift. And,
Wow.
So we developed a relationship with troopers, and a lot of times they were our closest backup. In fact, I had the opportunity to go to
assistant of a trooper. She was fighting for her life in a field out near Clover Garden School, and she hollered for help, and I was first officer on the scene, and we was able to get that guy captured, and the trooper and the officer, the guy she was trying to arrest, ended up having to go to the hospital to be treated. It was a very dangerous situation, so we developed a bond working out there in the county, and I've known Billy for years, so I was interested to see what he had to say. Well, come time for him to stand up and make his remarks, and what struck me first was how respectful his remarks were, and he was so thankful for the job that Terry Johnson had done in Alamance County, serving and protecting the citizens of Alamance County. He, the man's a legacy. He might not want to take that kind of praise, but he's done a lot of things in Alamance County and stood up to the federal government when they came after him to try to shut him up and shut him down. Anyhow, Billy was very, very respectful about the job that Terry Johnson has done. But one thing Billy brought up was that he was concerned about the margin of victory that Terry had over virtually a publicly unknown in Alamance County candidate in his last re-election, who had, only no direct public experience as far as policing goes, and it was still a very slim margin of victory. And he brought up the point that in a lot of the larger counties in North Carolina, you had long-term incumbent sheriffs who lost re-election bids, and in those areas, you've seen a downturn in public support for the sheriff's office. You've seen an increase in crime. Charlotte Mecklenburg is an absolute mess. With and it's not just Charlotte. Other liberal cities that have
liberal cities. Liberal cities. He's trying to say wherever black people live at, you got a whole bunch of crime. That's what he's trying to say.
They pat him on the back and then they turn him loose out on public.
Of course. They don't have anything. Y'all take everything from them, so they have to go steal it.
A lot of times, matter of fact, Burnson's got two, what I would consider basically liberal socialists running for city council, but I'm not calling to talk about that today. We'll do that at Save Our Authority, not today. Anyhow, we'll get back on the subject here. He was concerned about some of the downturn you've seen in some of these larger cities, in other counties.
We don't need nobody to come up here and give no pep speech for the sheriff. We know the sheriff is failing. We know the whole damn county is failing. So ain't no need to come in here giving no pep talk for him. It's too late.
And I'm very thankful for that. I think, this is my personal opinion, that both these men are good men with a heart to serve and protect the citizens of Alamance County. And I don't think that we could go wrong. And some people were concerned that that Billy Clayton's running against Terry in the primary, and it's like, every time there's an administration change, the top personnel in the sheriff's department seems to flip over. And I talked to him about that. And, he had an opportunity when he was in administrative staff for the state highway patrol that they could have went in and relieved a lot of the senior officers of their duties and let them retire, but he didn't do that. That's not the way he operated. If you take a system that's not totally broken, there's no reason to go in and rebuild the ship just because you got a small maintenance issue to take care of. But I think both these men are excellent candidates for sheriff. I was very pleased in the way he addressed and respected Terry Johnson. And now, I say all this because with a caveat that, after living and working in Alamance County for 38 years, I recently moved to Guilford County. So I don't have a vote in the city of Burleson, and I don't have a vote for the county of Alamance. But one thing I do have, I still have a voice, and I'm willing to share my experiences. So I hope to have some more conversations with you at some point later on.
Thank you very much for your call. Appreciate it a lot. You take care now. 222-9224. Listening to WBAG, Burlington Graham. All right, 222-9224. Good morning. You're on Talk Line.
Harry,
Yes, sir.
how are you?
Doing great.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. You know, I was watching the news last night, and it is just phenomenal that all the things that Trump is getting done. I mean, I wake up every morning. What's going to be the good news for today? What do you think about that, Dave?
Well, I think that many of the promises that he made during his campaign, he is, making an effort to get done. And I was surprised yesterday. Some of the things that this drug thing that they've been working on with Pfizer and drug companies trying to figure out a way to reduce the cost of drugs, something that he promised to try to do in his campaign, but you hadn't heard anything about it. You didn't know anything about it, and all of a sudden he comes up with this thing that has the potential to save folks money. It's not going to save everybody's money. It's not going to save me any money. I don't have a copay on now on any of the drugs that I get. I have lots of drugs that I take, and I don't have a copay on any of them anymore. Now, there used to be 3 of them that had a copay, but little by little, as they became generic, I didn't have to pay that. Now, what he's doing is he's working a deal with the drug companies themselves. Not talking about generics. These are people that will have a way to maybe save some money on these really expensive drugs that people take. And I think he promised that during the campaign. All of a sudden, here it is. I think that's pretty sharp. I really do. I think that just tickles me to death when he comes up with something. Now, just as soon as you say that, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to try to file a lawsuit against him, saying that somehow what he's doing is wrong. And little by little, he works through that as well. And I think it's relatively amazing.
Well, we were discussing, it may be a month or so back, we were discussing that even if Trump come up with a cure for cancer, that the Democrats would find something wrong with it. And then I hear Taylor had all them beautiful little children up there in his office and talking about all the money that was going to put towards cancer research expressly for the children. And that just made my heart feel glad.
Y'all hear him smacking over the phone. He have no respect. People have called in and said, will you please tell him to stop smacking while he's talking on the phone? But you see, he's an ignorant ass fool and he's still doing it.
Trump didn't shut the government down. What can the Democrats say about anything? The hate, the Trump derangement syndrome that has infected just about all of the Democrats. I don't want to make any predictions, but I've had to eat a whole pie full of I was wrong. But the Democrats keep up what they're doing right now, and we're only a year away from the midterm. What's going to happen if President Trump has such a solid majority in both the Senate and the House that he can pass anything he wants?
Well, we wouldn't. Well, the first thing that the first thing that wouldn't have happened if he had a larger majority, we wouldn't have shut the government down. That wouldn't have happened. That'd been that right now. I mean, we're talking about stuff that's going on today. If there was a larger majority that Trump had in the House and in the Senate, they would not have shut the government down. And the thing is, I think that it is now and has always been stupid for Democrats or Republicans to shut the government down. That's the dumbest thing. That tells me that you're so awful at your job. It is your job to do the people's business, Democrats and Republicans,
House and Senate. And shutting the government down means you didn't do your job. So over the years, as Democrats...
That's because we have a divisive leader. And if you think the American people is going to sit back and let this happen, y'all are dumb as hell.
When you shut the government down, the people's business is not being done. And they need to...
And you know what? Black people's business ain't being done. We ain't sick of it, and we ain't going to tolerate it, and we ain't going to go back. And you just want us to get rid of us another way, like bombing us, because that's all y'all ever do is bomb us. But you know what? Y'all's day is coming. We're going to leave our body here anyway, you damn fool. Where your spirit going to go?
The people of this country don't want the government shut down.
Well, how come it's shut down then? Well, if they don't want it shut down, why it's shut down? They don't want Trump. They don't want him. And they're making their voices loud and clear. We want that motherfucker gone.
Was what he did back in March when he said shutting the government down is stupid. I'm not voting for it. Didn't vote for it. The government didn't shut down. This and what's happened between March and now. He sees the writing on the political wall. He's doing political business. He's scared of AOC, so he wants to make like the big guy and say we're gonna shut the government down. Well, that's stupid. And I you know, if somebody runs against him, I hope they beat him. You know,
look, it ain't no more stupid than y'all's baby in the White House making political enemies over everybody that don't like his policies. Now that's what you call stupid. That's an ignorant child. That's a mentally ill fool that's in the White House. A dumbass, mentally ill crook fool. And you know what? Y'all in the same way. Anybody who want him is just like he is. A stupid, mentally ill fool, and they are a crook too. That's just the bottom line. Ain't no other way to say it.
All right, 2229224. You know, I think the invention of shutting the government down, which is a political thing. They do it for political reasons. They don't shut the government down because it's good for you or good for me. They shut the government down because they're so bad at their job that they can't get a continuing resolution. But better still, I wish they would quit with the continuing resolution and start passing budgets. That's what we used to do. We used to pass budgets. We would, you know, what the Democrats are mad about is they want to continue something that they were the ones that made it run out. This Obamacare thing that they gave, it was an Obamacare accommodation because of COVID. And they understood that they were going to pass it, and it was going to have a run-out time. They did it. Now what they want to do is hold up the entire government. Now it doesn't run out until December, until the end, you know, until January 1st. It doesn't run out. But they want to hold up the continuing resolution now, when all they have to do is let the continuing resolution go along and then go into the discussions in the House and in the Senate with doing what they want to do. But no, they want to do it now in the continuing resolution. Instead of having a clean continuing resolution, instead we just continue on with funding the way it was. The Biden funding package continues on until, you know, November sometime. And then we'll discuss the Obamacare thing in the House and in the Senate and see if we can come up with no. The Democrats said, no, we're going to shut the government down. Well, fie on all of you. Shutting the government down means you are an abject failure. Both the Democrats and the Republicans are failures because they can't keep the government running. That is their job, people. Shutting the government down is foolish. It is stupid. It always has been, always will be. I don't care who does it. It means you didn't do your job. And you're a failure at your job. The job that we elected you to do for the people's business, which means the government needs to stay open and running. Of all the stupid, ignorant things that we do as a government. Shut the government down? Come on. 2229224. We've got 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let me tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. The Original Mattress Factory manufactures mattresses in Raleigh and have a local store here in Burlington where they sell those mattresses. They produce all sorts of mattresses. They produce the memory foam and latex mattresses, as well as the two-sided mattresses that can be rotated or flipped to ensure long-term comfort. They use real working box springs, which they also make in their factory. Now, they want you to come by the store at 2477 South Church Street, next to Total Care Pharmacy. Take a look at how well made these mattresses are. Talk to the people there. They'd love to talk to you. They're when I was down there talking to them, I went in and had a conversation with the folks there. They were amazed at how smart our listeners are. They said, it's just amazing. The ownership here, they just can't believe how interesting you people are. You come down here, you know, in every way, shape, and form, people from all sorts of different backgrounds coming down here to buy mattresses, and we appreciate it. So you guys are doing a great job. Now, their mission statement there at the Original Mattress Factory is to produce quality mattresses in their own factory and sell them directly to consumers, which eliminates the middleman and provides real value. You'll save hundreds of dollars on these high-quality mattresses. They also sell adjustable beds and quality bedding accessories, from headboards and heavy-duty frames to sheets and pillows to help you complete your perfect sleep environment. So shop smart, sleep well with the Original Mattress Factory, 2477 South Church Street. Call them, 336-270-6244. Tell them that you heard us talking about them on Talkline. Good morning, you're on Talkline.
Yeah, Harry, what a lot of people don't realize is in our military, your soldiers, unless they are deployed in active duty, their families won't get a dime, and they will set up feeding stations for them. But when there's a government shutdown, you know, their bills go unpaid. They already struggle enough trying to pay their bills as it is on a regular salary from the military. So that's something for people to keep in mind.
And don't you find it fascinating, Marilyn, that when you're exactly right. The military doesn't get paid. Now they will eventually get their money. They don't lose the money. They get paid down the road somewhere. But do you know that the senators and the congressmen, they continue to get paid? See, the first thing that Congress needs to do, the Senate and the House, is to say we don't get paid when the government gets shut down. The soldiers don't get paid. Why do congressmen get paid? You know, if the soldiers, look, the way I look at it, if the soldiers don't get paid, I don't think congressmen and senators ought to get paid either.
Yeah, but I wanted to get into about the Democrats. First of all, the Republicans have always been about hard work, but they have ignored often people in poverty unless they were doing some sort of charity work, especially through their wives back in the days when wives didn't work. The Democrats have been all about getting stuff, you know, and how the poor man has been deprived, you know, instead of, you know, that may be your circumstance in life, be satisfied with what you got and try to work harder to get something better or get an education or something like that.
If the white people would stop stealing it, and you know there's ways to steal it, like raising your taxes and a whole bunch of ways to steal it. And y'all find every way you can to steal.
And they see nothing wrong with women having 10 kids and no father for those children. You know, they have no problem with that. And the woman may not be physically or mentally able to care for that many children. Democrats don't have no problem with that. It's led by a bunch of white liberals, and it's an agenda with the white liberals where they have kicked minorities under the bus for other minorities. They made sexuality a minority status, and it's just ridiculous, the things that the Democrats have done. There have been people that have had heart attacks, cancers, things like that, and the Democrats have always pushed for family planning, Medicaid, and ignored people that may have needed actual medical care, their teeth taken care of, which could lead to medical illnesses beyond just tooth pain. heart attacks and things like that. You know, they've ignored all of these things, and for some reason, minorities keep putting these white liberals in charge of the Democratic Party, and until people wake up and realize, you know, things like crime affect everybody. If you got somebody killed in a drive-by shooting, my grandchildren and my children recently went to the young boy, where he was killed at the housing project. They went to his memorial service, you know, to remember the event and everything. And, you know, people just don't realize that crime affects everybody. There's no color on crime. You know, we need safe communities, safe schools, and the Democrats aren't waking up to this. They keep blaming the man for putting somebody in jail for committing crimes when, you know, we need to just see how can we prevent these people from committing crimes, whether they're young or young men, you know, so we can have safe communities. You should be able to go out in your yard in a housing project and hang your clothes out on the line. You should be able to sit out, you know, in a lawn chair, things like that. Just because you're in poverty does not mean you have to be subjected to crime. And that's something the Democrats, you know, they're just failing to realize because they live in gated communities, these leaders of the Democratic Party. So I think that's something minorities need to wake up to and realize that many of these Democratic liberals are not your friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that's fascinating to me about what Marilyn was just talking about, you know, we absolutely know how to stop crime or reduce crime to almost nothing. We know exactly how to do that. We just did it in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. had a crime problem. So what is it that makes crime disappear? The presence of authority. What the President of the United States did was he helped, since they were down almost 900 police officers in Washington, D.C., the President of the United States said, we're going to bring in the National Guard to help Muriel Bowser, and who's the mayor, we're going to show you how the presence of more officers, in this case police officers helped by the National Guard, people in authority, and crime is reduced. So we know how to do it. You know, she was just saying you need to be able to go out and hang clothes at the projects, quote unquote, whatever that means. Okay? Well, you know how to do that? Have a police presence. Have a presence of enforcement. And crime goes down. We know that is what happens. That's how it works. Criminals move away from places where there are police officers and authority figures. They move away. They don't work around police officers. Why? Because they get arrested. So they go to a place where there aren't any police officers. Now, a lot of times in big cities, one of the difficulties in big cities, why are big cities crime-ridden in some places? Because of a lack of the presence of police officers. That's what happens. When the police officers leave, when they don't go into an area to help protect it, the criminals move right in because that's what they want. They want an area that is ripe for them to sell their drugs and do their murders and rob and do all the things that criminals do. They're going to do it where there aren't any policemen to shoot them. So in an area, if you've got a crime-ridden area, if you put more police in there, now in the modern day that we're talking about, they say, well, people who live in those areas, they're afraid of the police. They don't want the police in there. Yes, they do. If the mama who's there living in the housing that she can afford and subsidized housing, if she feels like she can walk outside with her children while they're playing and she's hanging up clothes, if there's a policeman that makes that possible, that's what she's going to want. We know how to fix the presence of authority, law enforcement, National Guard. If we see those people there, Law-abiding citizens don't have to worry about police officers. You know, there are some bad police officers and bad National Guardsmen, and, you know, they're always going to be an exception to the rule. But for the most part, it's the criminals that have to worry about those people. So we know how to do it. The presence of police officers and authority, like the National Guard, will make crime go down. We know that. Just talking about them on Talkline. Total Care here on Talkline.
Good morning, Harry.
Hey there, how are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good today.
All right.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I hope you're doing well.
Yep, you thinking about riding that motorcycle, aren't you?
I am. Exactly. I rode it yesterday.
Good.
I had to do it. 4 days of rain, it sat there. It bothered me.
You know, my Spitfire has a flat tire. It obviously has a slow leak or something in it. I filled it up with air, and now it's leaked back down. So I got to mess with that. I had to take that off and take it down and get it fixed.
Right. Well, we're gonna run up to Indiana for a couple of days and come back Sunday, I guess. But going to a wedding up there. One of my nieces is getting married, and so we're gonna go up there and celebrate her marriage, you know, and all that good stuff. And for the weekend, me and the wife, anyway. And but you know, talking about politics this morning, Alamance County. Now, every county in the state needs to have an audit. Every county in the state needs to account for every penny that they're spending of the taxpayer dollars.
Well, you'll be excited to know that they do that.
Every credit card.
That they do that.
Every credit card. Every credit card that they got, that somebody uses, needs to be accounted for. You know, and that way they could keep up with the money. But that needs to happen. And I know they got plenty of people working for the county that knows how to count.
No, they got outside auditors that come in and do that job. The county gets audited. The cities get audited. They have people to do that. So, you know,
Well, every time they want a tax raise, they need to bring them in. You know, but evidently they overspending, they wasting money. If they didn't, they wouldn't have to keep raising these property tax, food tax, and all that stuff. They wouldn't have to keep raising it for wasteful spending. Now, social services, to me, just my way of thinking, is probably costs more than anything else in the county. You know. It don't matter what money comes from. It's all taxpayer money coming in, whether it be federal or state or county or whatever. It's all taxpayer money that they're using, you know. And so, but they're not doing the taxpayer's job. They're not working for the taxpayer. It kind of seems like they're working for themselves. Now, for instance, now you take old Pete Hegseth. You know, he's the head of the military. He's the man. Now, you know what he did? He told everyone, them generals and colonels that was in that meeting that showed up, that they was going to straighten up, or they're going to get their heads chopped off. It's about what it amounted to. He said there wasn't going to be no fat, bearded, long-haired, military guys running around in the Pentagon. He said that was over. He said, you're going to straighten up. He said, this, you know, we military. You got, and it don't matter whether you're a policeman or whatever. If you can't pass your PT test, you're hindering somebody else. You can't keep up. When you're required to do a job that you have to physically be ready to do and mentally on top of it. So, you know, you keep yourself in shape, you keep yourself clean, You keep yourself professional, and that way you can do your job better. And it don't matter what job you're doing. You know, if you keep yourself clean, professional, if you're flipping hamburgers, you will do a better job. Dress like you're supposed to. Pull your pants up. Put a belt on. Look presentable. You know, that always works. Every job I ever worked, even doing carpenter work.
That's true. I have to agree with him on that. The people in the restaurants, y'all look sick. Y'all look pitiful. And you know, sometimes I really don't want to eat there because of the way y'all dress. You look like you just got out of the bed with your uniform on, like you slept in it all night and just came to work the next day. You don't look right. You just look nasty. See, I grew up where you wore white to work in the kitchen and you had something on your head. Y'all do something totally different. Y'all just do anything. That's why the food don't taste like shit.
Because if you go down there, I promise you, if you go down to the courthouse, Harry, and try to get some information out of somebody, it's almost impossible.
It's impossible.
They're not professional about it.
They're not professional. The government here is out.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, take care. 222-9224. But every time I've been into any one of the places around here, they're very professional. Sometimes they're not real nice, they're not friendly, but they're very professional. You know, I was going into the courthouse in Graham, and they were wanding me, and you know, and I said, "Wait a minute," and he stopped, and I said, "I've got a pacemaker," and he said, "Oh," and it was like that. His whole attitude about me completely changed. Like he was being very, you know, matter of fact, you know, getting ready to wand me down, and he said, "Oh," and he reached over and flipped a little switch, and he just walked right on through. And I woke up and I thought, I should have been telling people all along I had a pacemaker. Let me tell you about Ferrara's restaurant. Ferrara Pizza and Pasta. Woo. Real New Yorkers, real Italians, real pizza. Now, they're at 3243 South Church Street here in Burlington. They're there Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. And they have wonderful items on the menu, baked pastas, all sorts of pasta dishes, gourmet pizzas and regular pizzas. They've got chicken entrees, seafood entrees, veal and eggplant. Oh, the food is incredible, and the people are so nice. You know, bring the whole family when you come. Ferrara's Pizza and Pasta, right there at 3243 South Church Street. You'll love the food. Real New Yorkers, real Italians, real pizza. Tell them that you heard us talking about them on Talkline. Good morning, you're on Talkline.
Good morning, Harry. How are you?
I'm well. I'm doing well.
Oh, good, good. I liked your speech this morning on law enforcement because that's pretty much what I said yesterday. If you don't put cops in the bad areas, you're not going to do it, then the cops don't want to go in bad areas. You know, and that's the same right here in Alamance County. I live in West Burlington. That's where all the cops hang out. I mean, you've got cops running into each other up here. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, we got Elon, Gibsonville, Burlington, and the Sheriff's Department. And I mean, it looks like a cop rodeo. I mean, they're always up here. Well, there's no crime. This is the West Burlington. There's not much crime up here. And, you know, but you go to East Burlington, and you can't find one. I'm just saying, you know, you hit it right on the head. It doesn't matter how big a city it is or small a city is. That happens because you want to be up here giving speeding tickets instead of down there preventing a murder. It's a lot easier. And you know, it's you know, we talk all this stuff like you said. We talk all this stuff about crime, but are we really doing what it takes to reduce crime? We can build all the training centers in the world in Alamance County for law enforcement. But that doesn't solve crime. That doesn't do a thing about crime. We've been training officers in Alamance County ever since it started. And you know what? We built a $35 million training center down there. Really, it was 25, but they waited 5-6 years to do it, and the interest rate went from 1%. So it'd been 10.8. It was a 1% interest rate back then, and they waited 5 years to do it. And now it went up to 20 million, and then they had the state somehow not tell us, but Berger sent in $5 million by way of Amy Gailey and built the shooting range, which I don't really understand that. I mean, what are you going to do? If it's snowing, you're not going to go out and police? You're not going to be able to fire your firearms? I mean, that is ridiculous. I mean, I don't care what kind of shooting range you got. You go shoot whenever you shoot. You got to shoot in all kinds of elements. You think the military trains like that? You think that we're going to get up in the military and basic training and say, well, we were supposed to go to the rifle range today or tonight, shoot tracers and then shoot bullets after the tracers, they hit a target, but they call for range, so we're not going to do it. That's what we're doing. That's what they do. That's why they wanted this $5 million shooting range, because of the weather. Look, crime is crime, like fighting and combat. You can't determine how the weather's going to be. You need to be able to shoot that pistol in all kinds of weather, whether it's sleet, snowing, raining, pretty, whatever it is. So, spending $35 million is not going to fix the crime. It's window dressing. And, and it costs the taxpayers $20-some million more because some community college president and the county commissioners didn't push this in 2018 when the money was there, when bonds were passed, and they didn't push it. And it sat there for 5 years and waited till the worst time that they could have possibly built this thing. But, the motorcycle man's right. You got to look after your money. Well, you're not looking after the taxpayer. And then they have this big grand opening down there, with a ribbon cutting, and everybody's patting, all the politicians and everybody's patting each other on the back with this great thing. But they're not telling the public the truth. The truth is, it should have never been built. We've been training people here for BLET for 10 years. And it's not going to be you're not going to have to build a motel in Green Level. And they've been down to McDonald's coming to Green Level. I mean, it's a training center, and you're going to have 20 or 30 people taking a BLE class for 4 months, and then you're going to have another group just coming. But if I'm in Orange County, or if I'm in Guilford County or Forsyth, and I want to hire an officer in their college, community college is not teaching BLET at that point, I'm going to send them to the nearest one, or the one that's getting ready to start a class, because I don't want that officer to sit around and wait. That recruit to sit around and wait 4 months. He may go somewhere else. So you send him to wherever there's a class starting. But I just don't, this kind of stuff, it's all window dressing. And, we can't do this. Now, Billy Clayton, I like Terry. I've been knowing Terry all my life. I said, but Billy Clayton, he'd be a great sheriff. He was the number 2 man in the state of North Carolina for the highway patrol. He's not an inexperienced officer. He is a very, very smart, educated, and he's got something that I really like. He's got his degree, but he's got a graduate degree. He's got an MBA. I like that. I like that master's in business administration, because that teaches you how to run budgets, be conscientious about what you're spending, instead of just spend. I need more money. You've got to have people in these offices. And, we need that on our county commission. We need people with MBAs on our county commission. We don't need people that are just yes. Because and all they worry about is getting reelected. And that's, we got this all over the country. That's what's going on right now. Chuck Schumer's scared to death that AOC's got him in her sight, and he's going to sit there and do something stupid that he knows.
Which he said the last time, which was March. He said what he did this time was stupid back then. And all of a sudden, it's what happened between March and now, and he says it's not stupid now. These people are so hypocritical.
And what they want to do, and here's what they want to do, and they can say what they want to. It got pointed out last night. They added something into that continuing resolution that lets them continue to give Medicaid to illegal immigrants. And a person on CNN asked, why did you put that in there? You knew the Republicans were going to see it and wasn't going to have anything to do with it. And bring Obamacare spending back to pre-pandemic limits. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to keep wasting money.
Well, they were the ones that voted for that. That was their bill to bring it back. They did the pandemic thing, and they knew it was going to go back to pre-pandemic levels because they put it in the bill.
Yeah.
They did that, not the Republicans.
The radical left has got Chuck Schumer. He is totally powerless anymore. I mean, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, all that group of people, they have got these people that are that used to be Democrats, but now they're far left, whatever. You know, and they're not looking after the people. You know, I looked, they had a big demonstration in Chicago yesterday about, you know, ICE coming in there and all. You know, I didn't see any black people in that demonstration. It was all white people. Because the black people know that these people are taking their job. I saw a speech by Barack Obama, just like you said. He got up in a debate with Hillary Clinton when he was running against Hillary. He said that George Bush let 5 million illegal immigrants into this country, and that they were taking jobs from the American people, and we have to get them out of here. That's exactly
and he got over 3 million of them out of here. And none of the Democrats said a word. Yeah. Now they're trying to get
Republicans.
Yeah, now they're
Republicans.
Beat anything I've ever seen. Listen, I appreciate it.
He tries to get 10 out, and he's a monster.
A monster, exactly. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, then I saw a video that I was watching online of a discussion about that very thing, and the person that they were discussing with it, well, that's different. And it was Bill Maher that was talking about it. He said, well, what's different about it? It's just different. You know, they don't have an answer. Yes, it's different. It's the difference between a Democrat doing it and a Republican doing it. If a Republican does it, it's bad. If a Democrat does it, it's good. 8 minutes now before 10 o'clock. I'm laughing because it reminds me of my sister sitting there. I'm going to pitch a hissy fit. Let me tell you about the folks at the Carpet's Dream Carpet Cleaning. I love
the cause this morning is good to understand what exactly is going on in America. First of all, capitulation. Merlin has gone unnoticed on this show for years, and I guess she has come to the conclusion that if you can't beat them, join them. From there, she's knocking, beating up the Democrats, and then she's going to talk about crime. I think it was Miller that was allegedly accused of stealing from her mother and arrested for that. But she's going to talk to me about crime? No, I don't think so. But good try to be accepted, Merlin. That's capitulation. And that's what a lot of black people in the communities did a while back. It's capitulated just to be accepted, and you don't get accepted, you get scorned. Next thing is, talk about Tom Homan wants to do a good job, but nobody's talking about Tom Homan accepting $50,000 in a paper sack at a restaurant, in a restaurant bag, saying that he would give contracts to private companies for illegals. Nobody's talking about that.
We talked about that several times. You brought it up several times, and each time we talked about it. Each time.
It's not part.
Can I continue? It's not part of the narrative. So it's not.
Of course it is.
We're talking about what he's doing is a great job in taking back illegals. But yet and still, we say they don't have an answer. Let me give you an answer far as the difference between what Obama done and what Trump is doing. He's not breaking the Constitution. That's not what he's doing. And when you first look at the numbers, which is not quoted on this show anymore, when you first look at the stats when they're talking about is Trump good on immigration, it was very high. Now he's underwater and -2 -7 on some because people don't like him breaking the Constitution. The Constitution is still important to some people like it was others, but now it's still important to some people. He's breaking the Constitution. So he's not just going in and arresting the criminals, which we were told on this station. He's going into school graduation, arresting the parents. Now, again, if you hear illegal, I don't have no sympathy for you, but that is still targeting. That is still against the law. So that is breaking the Constitution. You're not allowed to do that. And that's why he's been sued. And that's why the courts are saying what you're doing is illegal. And another thing that he's doing illegal that I was told that was not liked on this show is all the laws that have been done through executive orders. He has done over 150 executive orders. But now that's not a problem that he is doing them. But when Biden did an executive order about the school loan money, that was a problem. That's not.
It's a problem, Michael. It's a problem with me. It's an absolute problem with me, and I've said it over and over again. I hate executive orders. That's not the way to do anything. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, the more executive orders, the worse it is. And I've said that over and over and over again on this program.
I'm trying to just give my little spiel in my 5 minutes without being interrupted.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to be, Michael, you're going to be interrupted when you say something that isn't true. You say nothing's been said about that. Of course it has. When you say something that isn't true, I'm going to speak up.
I didn't say anything to you.
You did. You're talking right here. You said that nobody says anything about the fact that of what you were just talking about, and I said, yes, they do. We talk about it all the time. I've said over and over again that we don't like those things. Other people have said that.
Okay, if I can continue, because if not, I'm getting hung up on because it makes you look bad, but that's when I would.
Oh, Michael, just shove it. That's a terrible thing to say.
Is it true?
Awful thing to say. You are so rude. That was just rude. No, what it is you're being rude. No, go on. Look, I'm not going to hang up on you. Go on. Finish what you were saying. Finish what you were saying.
Let me continue. Do I get my time back?
Finish what you were saying.
Okay, thank you very much. If you don't interrupt me, I will. Now, we also talked about on this station so many times before about the Constitution, about Christianity, and then we're delusional when we say that he has done all these great things. I wake up every morning thinking about what's the greatest new thing that he's going to do. Well, one, you compare Charlie Kirk to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Two, you said Trump was the best president ever. And historians using data does not say that at all. But yet and still, he's done everything. Now, I want to know what are the things that he said. Prices are up. Inflation is up. None of these wars have ended. Even one more war has started. The government is shut down, and every time the government has been shut down, the party in control gets to blame. They have the House and both levels of Congress. So that is absolutely benign to now say what is different between Chuck Schumer. Now, the difference is they are fighting for the insurance of American people who will send insurance up for everybody else. Now, the reason why you don't mind that, because I will say this statement over and over again. I heard you say on this station that when Biden was in office, your insulin was cheaper. Now that Trump is in office, it's back up because he did away with those subsidies, which is socialism.
It's not back up.
Okay,
my insulin isn't more expensive. I haven't said that.
People like you are getting it.
I haven't said that.
But
where are you getting that from, Michael? I never said that.
Say it.
My insulin went down, and it stayed down. It's not going back up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's what you said.
I did not.
Lyndon Johnson said, two quick quotes. Lyndon Johnson said, you take the dumbest, poorest white man, tell him he's better than the best black man, best, smartest black man. You ain't got to take nothing from him. He will give you everything he has, because as long as he is told he's better than somebody else and he can blame somebody else for the reason that he's not as good as he wants to be. Well, you have that on this station. You have the callers. You have just somebody just said that he's glad that somebody got an MBA. Yet and still, he didn't call and talk about the misinformation that he gave on this station yesterday. He didn't call and talk about the misinformation he gave about the sheriff about a month ago. He's not going to correct that. He's going to go on to something else. And that's what is allowed to be done. He doesn't know anything about the NBA. He gets the tariff information wrong. You got the tariff information wrong.
I haven't gotten any. Okay, Michael.
Information wrong.
I haven't gotten any information wrong.
But
all right.
You know what? You're good at what you do.
I appreciate it. Thank you for saying that, Michael. That's a good way to end this conversation. I'm good at what I do. And see, what it is that you want to do is you just attacked Barry for not saying that he gave out misinformation. Barry doesn't think he gave out any misinformation. You said it's misinformation. He doesn't think it is. That's your opinion. He's giving his opinion. You're wrong, and he's right. I'm not saying who is and who isn't. You have your opinion. You're entitled to it. He has opinion, and he's entitled to it. That's the way all of this stuff works. Now, I know what's being said, and the White House is denying that. He's denying that. Some of the people that have been quoted in the situation as having said something say, no, I didn't say that. All you have to do is read all the, you bring it up and Holman takes $50,000 and you can see story after story after story after story. He is innocent until he's proven guilty. And when they don't prove you guilty, you're not. But yet you're willing to attack other people that you don't like with things that they say they didn't do, haven't been proven that they did, haven't been charged with anything, haven't been convicted of anything, but you keep bringing it up. You do that on all the people that you don't like. If there's somebody you don't like and you have heard something about them, boy, you just jump all over it.
They can't take the truth. They really can't. They cannot handle truth.
Rude. Why do you have to be rude? You accuse me of something, I say something, and then you say, why do you keep interrupting me? And I tell you every time the same thing. I interrupt you because you accused me of something. I told you over and over and over, you accused me of getting the tariffs wrong. That was one of the latest things that you said. And all I have ever said is, I don't know whether the tariffs are right or wrong. I know that what the so-called experts said was going to happen hasn't happened. They said inflation was going to go rampant, and it hasn't.
Yes, it has too.
What
prices are you looking at? These prices are extremely high.
That have changed? Of course not. But they said that inflation was going to go rampant, and it hasn't. And I'm saying, let's just wait. Let's see.
He don't think prices are high. Apparently, he get a whole bunch of income on his retirement check.
That's what they say. Yeah, we have, and they all of them say the same thing I'm saying. That's what's funny to me. I'm saying the same thing that MSNBC experts say. They say, well, we got it wrong, but let's wait and see, because it could change, and absolutely it could. And we had a big change, a gigantic change, when they redid the numbers, and 1 million jobs went away. These were jobs that were called upon in the Biden administration as well as the Trump administration. When they, and you're talking about, oh, that's a bad thing. That shows that Trump is doing awful. No, it shows that if that were true, that Biden and Trump did a terrible job. That's what it said. But the thing is this: you ought to be talking about the people that misread 1 million jobs. What it is they got it wrong to the tune of almost 1 million jobs.
That is unbelievably bad. WBAG, Burlington Graham. All right, 222-9224. Here's an interesting, whether it's a whole estate or just a few items that they want to consign. Check them out on Facebook and then on Talkline. All right.
See, you're talking in the flush. You understand what I'm saying? You're not thinking about God at all. You see, including Jim, that claims he's a Christian. This is what he claims. But the words coming out of his mouth to me and God's book is not what he's saying. You see, you people think that's what he's saying because you don't know no better. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about the words is what's in the Bible. All you people are living, you, Catman, all the rest of you are not living in the Bible. You see what I'm saying?
You can't make them.
It says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's one of the 10 Commandments. You're not doing that. You see what I'm saying?
No, I do that every day. I treat people the way I want.
No, that's what you say.
But that's a fact.
That's not a fact.
Absolutely it is.
Sure.
I treat everybody the way that need to be treated.
But you're not doing it.
I am. I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you judging me?
Listening to what you're saying about people.
What have I said about people?
What you said about Obama.
What did I say about Obama?
About Biden.
What did I say about Biden?
A lot of people.
What did I say about...
These are not God's words.
What have I said about Obama and Biden that are not God's words? What are you talking about?
Anything you say about Obama and all of that words, you don't know nothing about Obama.
Of course I do.
You say this stuff right here is on the account of Biden. No, it's not. It's on account of people like these people on your show. That's what it's about. Listen, you're talking about these people just shooting people and going on and go. Oh, look, send the National Guard in. No, you should send God in. See where you're missing what's happening.
No, I don't. Because I think when you send the National Guard in, that God is watching, and He thinks that crime needs to be taken care of, and that He would approve of that. That's what I think. If you don't think that way, that's fine. And you can say that I'm a heathen because I believe that God is on the side of right. That's what I believe.
Got to live by these 10 Commandments, and God has put them here, and it's just like you're using these phones and things. You understand what I'm saying? It's already written. He don't have to do nothing. And to get back into God's kingdom, you have got to do what you got to believe in God. Listen, this is the first thing He said. Listen, you know the first sign of knowledge is to fear God. You people don't fear God. I do. Listen, even to storms and things, fish are still in the sea. You people run up and down the road on cars and things and motorcycles and things and don't fear God. I fear God. You understand what I'm saying? When there's a storm going on, I'm going to seek shelter. I'm not going to be out trying to play golf and get struck by lightning and things. You people don't fear God. You understand what I'm saying? The first fear of God is the sign of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I listen to this. This is the reason I'm 83 years old. You people will be lucky if you ever get to 83 years old.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because this world is so full of sin. And listen, sin's what's bringing on the killings. You say that the one that rode up on the boat and shot in the thing was, he's crazy. You understand what I'm saying?
I didn't say that. The people that arrested him said he was.
Now, go ahead. Let you clear yourself. Go ahead.
No, the people said he was. I was reading the news story.
Huh?
I think he's crazy. Absolutely.
Okay,
I think he's a nut.
You done said it. Now listen. Now, do you know why he was sent there? That's the work of Satan. You see what I'm saying? See,
you and I are not going to disagree on that because I absolutely agree with you. That is the work of Satan. Listen, I'm sorry, we're running out of time, and I have to go. You've been talking 5 minutes, And I've just run out of time. I apologize. I'm not trying to cut you off. I have run out of time. And I appreciate what you're saying. The problem that I have with what you're saying is you're telling me I don't know God. Yes, I do. And you have no business judging me that way. Now, we're just talking about you and me, sir. You have no business judging whether I know God or not. That's not your function. I know what's in the Bible. I know what I believe. And I believe in God. And you cannot, what you're doing is you're trying to judge me and say that I don't know God. I know God.
No, you don't.
I absolutely do. And you are
We can tell, Mama.
Based on
We
what's
can
in the
tell.
Bible.
There are certain people that can tell whether you know
Accusing
God or
me
not.
of not knowing God.
All
The
these
Bible
churches
says
have
don't
lied
do
to
that.
y'all all these
Don't
years.
judge or ye shall be judged. 2229224. Let me tell you about Postal Connections. Postal Connections, that's the place to go if you've got some packing and shipping to do. I've got to ship. I sold a little, the thing on the end of a violin bow is called a frog. And I got an 1800s one that's made out of bone and abalone. It's just beautiful. I sold that.
No, you can't make nobody do anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm telling you,
He's trying to turn.
I was trying to save y'all's life. If you don't want to be saved, hell with it. Die.
He's trying to make that into a Christian show, and it ain't.
Well, Alamance County claim to be so Christian, but they're not. Alamance County is evil.
Well,
Look at all the lies made up on me. An innocent person who try to do good to everybody. And look, all the lies, all the hell I have to go through. Fuck people. This attitude I ought to get. People is evil. And the church ain't
it's
shit.
gonna be evil when the world comes too. When God comes,
They're going to still be evil because they can't learn. Y'all can't wake up. You're dumb and you can't wake up. You don't want to wake up because you're too damn stubborn.
You can't make them. You can't. That ain't no Christian show. It's opinion.
Well, how come they always talking about the Lord if it ain't no Christian show? Christians, in my opinion, ain't nothing but damn devils.
It's interesting to me. Like, I almost feel like everybody's related. Like, everybody's related, therefore it's okay to steal? Is that what this is? Like, everybody's related, therefore it's okay to steal? Is that what this is? It's okay to steal from somebody? Because you're related to them? What's this? And we got to send a sword? I guess not. Might be filing a case right now. They might be filing a case right now because some shit is not fair.
The show ain't.
Might be filing a case right now because some shit is not fair. Why somebody was receiving something that they weren't supposed to be receiving, and then now you're supposed to get something and it's not there, or you don't know what happened, or it's being concealed. Oh, all of that shit is gonna come out. Somebody really might be in trouble about this. It's like they have to give something up, or they have to pay something back, or they're going to have a problem. What's this energy here with this? What's going on? We have the 3 of Cups energy here, and that usually can be family too. Like, I'm even getting like fraud or some shit. Like, it's something where it doesn't even have to be just one person. It could be a lot of people that are going through this, a lot of people that things have been taken from them, except they like intercepted something. I don't know how they did this, but they're going to have to give all that shit back because that shit's not legit. It's something here that's not legit, y'all. I really feel like this has to do with some type of scheme, some type of scam. That shit's not legit. Like somebody, okay, it shows somebody being unaware, but are they really unaware? What's going on here with this? Or is it that they don't care? What's this energy here? We have the Queen of Swords energy. I think that is somebody that don't care. I think it's somebody that don't care. They do not care about how nobody feel about the shit. They don't care about no consequences. They don't care about that shit. They thought they were going to get away with it. But they're not. They have to give something back. They didn't deserve something they were receiving. Or something. I don't know how they used all these people like that. We have the Three of Swords energy here.
They use the government. They've been using the government against me ever since I started working engineer controls under Wright Miller. That was a long time ago they've been trying to kill me. But those motherfuckers are going to find something out. Mr. Yancey and all of them going to find something out. That the Lord is not pleased with the things they have said about me. Liars.
It's like a focus of energy. Like somebody's focused on a business. They're focused on something that was built. It's almost like, how did you get that? Or how did you build that? Or where did you get the money for this? Or where? It's something like that. Then we have the Four of Wands energy. It could also be somebody's home. Damn, it almost looks like there's gonna be an investigation or some shit. Like they're gonna be all up and through somebody's shit trying to figure out how they got something or how. Wow. And I feel like it's somebody that all these people trusted. And we have the Ten of Wands here. Yeah, that's not looking good for Four of Wands. It goes 8 of Wands, 4 of Wands, 10 of Wands energy. It's like they're focused on some kind of, I don't know if it's a house, a home. It's like they're focused on some kind of, I don't know if it's a house, a home. And it's like really standing out. It's like a blaze. Let's just say it like that, because the Ten of Wands, it's complete fire. So it's really something where a person is going to have to be accountable for something. They're going to be held accountable for this. Detectives and all types of shit looking at this. I don't know who this is. They thought they were slick, but they're not slicker than the system. The system studies people like this. Like they really, I'm telling you, this person thought they was a mastermind, because I'm seeing ins and outs of shit. It's like somebody must have caught on. Somebody had to catch on. It's like somebody must have caught on. Somebody had to catch on. Damn, because it's a lot of people involved in this. I'm getting the word raid. Like it's about to be a pop-up. It's about to be a pop-up because it's something that's not right. It's somebody that has been receiving something they have not supposed to be receiving that, because I don't know if they was using somebody else's name, or they were using people's names, or they were doing something behind the scene making it look like something that it wasn't. And because of that, it's a lot of people that basically were missing out on something, or not receiving something, not getting something, and like they had no idea. They did not know. And this person is about to get caught. It's about to be a whole, like, this person think they slick. They is so stupid. Look, I even shuffled the cards and the damn Hermit is still at the bottom here. The Hermit is looking into that shit. The Hermit got all the evidence. Okay? The Hermit got all the evidence. Let's just say it like that. What's this energy here with this? What is this going on? We got the Three of Pentacles. And yeah, the whole operation. The Three of Pentacles. The Hermit still at the bottom. I'm shuffling, y'all. I'm shuffling. Y'all see me shuffling. The Hermit is still here. What's this energy here with this? What is going on here? We have the Page of Cups. Who the Page of Cups? What's going on with this Page of Cups? What they talking about? What's this Page of Cups? We have the Four of Pentacles. What, a gift? What gifts? Donations? What are we talking about? That's what it's kind of looking like. Somebody's trying to say something is donation, something is gifts, donation, something is like secured or something. They lying like shit. Ten of Swords. Yeah, exactly. They lying like shit. That whole shit about to be shut down. That whole shit is about to be shut down. So the Emperor is here and the Empress is here. Nah, they both gonna go down in. They both gonna go down in trying to scam and shit like that. I don't know. That shit don't even look right, y'all. That shit don't even look right. They scamming all these people like that and trying to make it look all innocent and shit. And it's like, nah, I am so sorry. It's something here that's not right. Let me get something else with this Empress. What's going on with this Empress? Because I already know that the Emperor don't care. We already determined that. What's going on with the Empress? And then we got the Ace of Swords energy here and the Nine of Swords. Somebody's either knowing the truth or finding out the truth. There is a possibility that the Empress could be innocent, because the Page of Cups did come out. And I said, like, it could be, or they could be faking it, but I don't think they're faking it. I think they're just now learning the truth, because it's the Ace of Sword right here, and then I see the Nine of Sword. They're just now learning the truth. So it wasn't like a co-op operation. It was like a secret operation where somebody thought they had all these people mixed up in that shit, and they're not going to be the only ones that go down. And they are going to be the only ones that fucking go down, because nobody else really knew about the shit. Nobody else knew. What is this energy here? This person didn't want to share nothing. This person was using everybody involved. What is this energy here with this? And then we got the Nine of Cups energy. What about this Nine of Cups? What's this energy here? What's going on? Wow, we have the Two of Swords energy. No, this person wasn't doing it by themselves. They was doing this shit by themselves. I'm trying to tell somebody, look, Seven of Swords. They was doing that shit by themselves. And they're going to go down by themselves. Look, Five of Cups and then Judgment. And then the Strength card, Leo energy here. Lovers energy. Gemini energy. Wheel of Fortune. They really thought everybody else was going to go down. Anybody involved with them, they thought those people were going to go down, or it was going to block them, or it was going to be hard to see them, spot them. Nah, it's not hard to spot that shit. What's this energy here with this? What is going on here?
Chiron intuition.
What is going on here? We have the Queen of Cups energy here. What's going on with the Queen of Cups? And then we got the Three of Wands. Look like Queen of Cups is out of here. Queen of Wands, Ten of Cups. Yeah, it's like they're out of here. They're out of here. They're not dealing with something. They didn't know. What is this energy here with this? I'm kind of feeling like that Queen of Cups is the Empress. What is this energy here? And then we got the Page of Wands. Yeah, that's free. That's freedom. That's going a whole nother direction, a new direction, doing something new, brand new, you ain't never done before type of shit. And then Judgment. Yep. And then Seven of Swords. It's like, wow. This person really, the people had no idea what this person was doing. They had no idea what this person was doing. And that is so fucked up how they just left everybody out to dry like that. Yep. And then Seven of Swords. It's like, wow. This person really, the people had no idea what this person was doing. They had no idea what this person was doing. And that is so fucked up how they just left everybody out to dry like that. And that's why everybody gonna leave this person behind. Everybody gonna stop fucking with this person when they find out what they did behind their back and how they used them like that and how they were getting something on them or on their name or something like that. They were using all those people to get money and did not tell nobody else. And they're going to pay for that. They're going to pay for that because nobody else benefited from that or something like that. They were using all those people to get money and did not tell nobody else. And they're going to pay for that. They're going to pay for that because nobody else benefited from that. They did that shit purely for money. I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they lied. You know, people be using social security numbers and all types of shit. Okay, I don't know. They be using people's names and shit, using people's identity and shit. They gonna go down for that shit.
Has always, career, been a curveball, right? And the problem is the black church has let the Negro down for 70 years, right? Dr. King was the last bastion of hope for the Negro in America as it relates to the curveball conversation by our enemy. Let's be clear, right?
Oh, that's a fact.
Okay? The fact of the matter is, when you allow someone to come in your church who just spoke across town at an LGBT conference, and he leaves that, D'Amica, we were there, yes. And he comes over across town after he told them gay marriage is the way I support it 100%. And he comes 20 minutes across town to your church and he says, down with gay marriage, right? But you didn't have nobody at the white church that could text you or call you and say, he bullshitting you. The Negro engagement in the voting process in America has always, career, been a curveball, right?
They can never undo what they did. Life has a way of exposing truth, no matter how much someone tries to cover it with excuses, lies, or silence. There are people who thought they could mistreat you, betray you, or break you, and then move on as if nothing ever happened. But hear me clearly. They can never undo what they did. The moment they chose to wound you, to misuse your trust, to take advantage of your kindness, That moment was sealed in time. They may try to rewrite the story, but the ink is permanent. And while they may walk around pretending their actions never happened, the weight of what they've done will follow them like a shadow. But here's the good news. You are not chained to their choices. You are not bound to the scars they left behind. What they did may be unchangeable, but it cannot define you, and it cannot stop the future that belongs to you. The irreversibility of actions. There are moments in life when people make choices that carry consequences far greater than they ever imagined. Some betray your trust, some take advantage of your kindness, and some hurt you in ways they can never take back. And here's the truth. Once an action has been done, it cannot be undone. Once words have been spoken, they cannot be unsaid. Once trust has been broken, it can never be restored to its original state. You can forgive, you can heal, you can move forward, but the scar will always remain as proof of what was done. This is the power and weight of human actions. They echo long after the moment passes, and this is why I tell you today, they can never undo what they did. People like to believe they can erase their past by pretending it didn't happen. They think if they stop talking about it, if they distract themselves, if they act like it never existed, then somehow the damage will vanish. But life does not work that way. Actions leave fingerprints on the soul. Betrayal carves its mark. Lies stain relationships. Abandonment plants seeds of pain that cannot simply be uprooted. The one who hurt you may move on as though their hands are clean, but deep down, they know their choices cannot be erased. They may forget, but the truth remembers. And so does God. And so does God. Think about it. A shattered vase may be glued back together, but it will never look the same. The cracks will always tell the story of the breaking. Trust works the same way. Once someone breaks it, even if you forgive them, even if you rebuild, it will never be what it once was. They can never go back to the moment before they made the decision to harm you. They can never undo the damage they caused with their lies, their deceit, or their betrayal. That's why you must understand what they did is their burden, not yours. See, when people wrong you, they sometimes expect life to go on as normal. They expect you to smile like nothing happened, to act as if their mistake is erased. They might even apologize, but an apology doesn't rewrite history. Words can't erase wounds. Time doesn't reverse damage. And you, my friend, do not need to carry the illusion that their apology is a reset button. It is not. Words can't erase wounds. Words can't erase wounds. Words can't erase wounds. They might even apologize, but an apology doesn't rewrite history. Words can't erase wounds. Time doesn't reverse damage. And you, my friend, do not need to carry the illusion that their apology is a reset button. It is not. And you, my friend, do not need to carry the illusion that their apology is a reset button. It is not. Their choices remain. Their actions stand as a permanent testimony of who they chose to be in that moment. And whether they admit it or not, whether they show it or not, the weight of what they did will follow them. Consequently, unless we act, God will act. They will find us, punish us, count us, take us. You see, life has laws that can't be escaped. You reap what you sow. You plant seeds of betrayal, you'll reap loneliness. You plant seeds of deceit, you'll reap mistrust. You plant seeds of hurt, and sooner or later, pain will find its way back to your doorstep. You plant seeds of deceit, you'll reap mistrust. You plant seeds of hurt, and sooner or later, pain will find its way back to your doorstep. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but the harvest will come. They can't. That door is locked. That chapter has already been written. And here's where you find your strength. While they remain stuck in the weight of their past, you are free to walk into your future. And here's where you find your strength. While they remain stuck in the weight of their past, you are free to walk into your future. So stop waiting for them to undo what they did. Stop holding your breath for them to make it right. They can't. Will wish they could go back and undo it, but they can't. That door is locked. That chapter has already been written. And here's where you find your strength. While they remain stuck in the weight of their past, you are free to walk into your future. So stop waiting for them to undo what they did. Stop holding your breath for them to make it right. They can't. No matter how much they try, they cannot erase their actions. No matter how much they try, they cannot erase their actions. You don't need their undoing, you need your healing. No matter how much they try, they cannot erase their actions.